Ms. Douglas, we're going to go back to you. 2 minutes each on this particular question. Ms. Douglas, some have claimed that you are a one-issue candidate, that is, you only focus on Common Core. How would you respond to that claim?
Oh, I love to respond to that claim. First of all, Common Core, as I already talked, the Race to the Top application, what we had to have covered in our state application were 4 things. How we would teach our children with Common Core standards and how we would test our children. How we will evaluate and compensate our teachers. How we will evaluate our schools, and a massive data collection system that is just beyond belief, what it will take to fulfill the requirements of that data collection. And all the testing is computerized. So that will also drive our education spending in this state. Our children, our teachers, our schools, the data on our children and our spending. Is that one issue? No, I think that's multiple issues. But the true one issue of this election is who controls our education system. Is it parents and grandparents and the taxpayers, or is it people that want to make a small fortune off the backs of our children? That's the one issue of this election, and I will do everything within my power to make sure control goes back to the parents and back to the people who should be controlling the education of our children.
There are literally hundreds of education issues, and we've been very successful over the last 3.5 years at pursuing the decentralization of power through what we do. Let me give you an example. Every year, 200,000 students, families, move from one school to another school. Our data system, unlike the balloon system and unlike those other systems, we give the parent ownership of their child's data. So that when their child moves from one school to another school, that school district, that door closes, they no longer own that data moves over to the next school. That teacher, those parents can go right into there and see every piece of data that the state has on them. This is a critically important sense, this data ownership by parents. We have participated in none of these consortiums of data sharing. We have none of these data issues that people have talked about in terms of gun ownership, party registration. None of that's on ours. We've gone out to the very best teachers in the state, and we've asked them, what information do you need to pursue excellence in your classroom? And well, that information is going to be available to every teacher with the touch of a button, and it's going to be available to every parent to inspect so that they know what's going on with their child's data, and there will be an immediate appeals route if they don't like the data that's in there. That's just one aspect. We have taken the computer system from 50% response of availability for our schools to 100%. That took a massive effort. I had to bring in a CIO who was rated one of the top 100 in the nation, and we hugely reduced bureaucracy for our schools. We're now down to $300 per student, less administrative costs. In Arizona, that's $330 million of savings relative to other states in the nation. So that's just one aspect of what I've been able to accomplish with my skills as an administrator. My skills that have been developed over the last 30 years in situation after situation. We have the ongoing conflict down with the Tucson Unified School District. That is going to be a never-ending battle. I mentioned that I defeated them in state court, I defeated them in federal court. We're continuing to defeat them. We have to stay right on top of them. This is a never-ending battle with the federal government. You know you can have confidence in us because we've won these battles before and we're continuing to win them. Thank you.
Ms. Douglas, would you like a rebuttal?
Oh, sure. I keep trying to trip over this cord here. Excuse me if I fall down on the front table. When I was young, quite a while ago, we moved between my 2nd grade year and my 3rd grade year. And I went to a new school in a town a couple of towns over. And you know, when we moved, my mom went to the school office of my old school and she picked up my file and we took it with us and we went to the new school and my data went right along with me. That's nothing new that's happening. But every piece of data, for the data of a child to truly belong to the parent, then there's no appeal process. There's no asking someone else if something that's objectionable can be taken out. It belongs to the parent and it can be removed. Period. End of story. That's what true ownership means, not some kind of illusion that we're going to allow you to believe that somehow this is your child's data. And talk about the data system. Our children were subjected to the PARC testing as a pilot project this year, and our children's data was collected on it. And if parents even knew it, I doubt it. Were they given permission? I don't know. Maybe they were, maybe they weren't, but I'm sure they were not made privy to what data was collected. That went off to a for-profit consortium, and that's data we'll never see on our children. How does that belong to their parents?